to The Joe Cronin Show.
Oh, nothing like Coca-Cola in the morning in a wine glass. Look at this, right? Tastes like cancer.
Tastes delicious.
Dude, that tastes... I can literally taste the cancer coming out of that fucking thing. Which I like.
You can take off rust off a bumper.
Remember the thing they used to do with the pennies? They would like, you'd soak the pennies in it or whatever?
Yeah, take the rust off and copper.
Yeah, I clean a penny. Just a little vinegar and salt will clean the penny. Vinegar, salt, and baking soda. It will also kind of ruin the finish, though. Like, so if you have like an expensive penny, like you don't want to fuck with it, you know?
No, not the classics.
Pretty excited that Beer Goons has come to Tune in app. So, where is it? Where we go? And look what came today, folks. Look what fucking came today. The WWE Book of Rules and how to break them. Published for the first time. Foreword by Daniel Bryan. And my son in the background. Look at this. You can even pull this thing over here, right here, and you can unwrap it. Well, the screaming child in the background is exactly why usually I do the show upstairs in the daytime, but I'm very, very happy and thankful to the WWE for sending me this book, WWE Book of Rules and how to break them. I am ready to dive into this thing to do a review of it, and it should be cool, man. Look, this you open it up with this friggin' nice string. It's like a real little paper notebook thing. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Looks sealed shut.
Yeah, you undo it. Look at that, like a bra. You just take it off like a bra. Oh, and then her...
That means half of their fans won't be able to open it.
Her tits are out, oh. So yeah, if you guys want to get this book, my link is in the description box down below. That will be probably the only link I'll put down there just so you guys can make sure you get to it because I want you to be able to get it. When you buy it, using my link, I get credit for that, so do that, and you're going to buy it anyway, so use my link to support the show. If you're one of those people that's like, I don't donate, I don't give a shit, Joe, I don't do that shit. YouTube is free. Fuck your family. Well, if you want to help, the best way to do it is use the link if you're going to buy this book anyway. Or go to joecroninshow.net. It's on the main page right there. And if you want to advertise on the show, the advertise link is up on joecroninshow.net as well. So I'm just going to peer into this thing real quick. There's a lot of shit going on today, Jake. There's a lot of shit going down, especially with TNA, but I know this is...
there's a bunch of TNA news coming out, and some of it is just, spicy.
Okay, so it is spicy. Now, remember, a lot of us thought that this was going to be a very, very serious book.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be straightforward and explaining matches and how, all the technical rules and things. No, it's supposed to be more like fun and goofy, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
It has drawings and almost more, it looks like a blueprint kind of idea than an actual book-to-book.
I think it is serious. I think. It says sunglasses can be worn to the ring but should not be worn during matches. You can nearly wear anything to get the drop on your opponent. And then it says, there's all these examples. If you're losing your hair, embrace baldness by shaving your head. I guess, so that's stupid. Like, that's, cheesy rules. I want, real... we thought this was going to be a book of actual rules. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I mean, I'm sure it's in there.
Wait a minute. Regulation wrestling boots are the only style of footwear that is permissible for the ring. Furry tassels make a gorgeous addition. I don't get what that... I don't get what that is. Maybe you won't buy this book.
Maybe not.
Actually, there's a lot of shit in this book. There's a lot of examples and a lot of... There's even some shaming in here, to be honest. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my review on that book. So maybe wait for the review on the book. But it's pretty cool. It's a lot of pages. It looks interesting. Some of the stuff actually looked kind of cool. Some of the stuff was like, oh, that's neat. But then there was other things that were just like, why is that in here? But maybe...
yeah, I mean, it seems a little odd thrown together, but that's okay. Should be good overall.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out when we read it. The WWE book of rules and how to break them. And I'll tell you what, if the book is really good, I'm going to give it a great rating. If it sucks, I'm going to light the book on fire. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
I mean, to be honest, I could sit here and fucking say, I could not say anything. I could not do a review. I could whatever, and just be like, buy the book and use my link. But I'm for real, bitch. I am for real. So that's not going to happen. There was some other stuff I wanted to get to, and I don't really remember exactly what it was, but I do know that there's issues going on with TNA. Jack Swagger has not been released by the WWE yet.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to comment on, too. Wrestling Inc. asked WWE for a statement, and they said Jack Swagger has not been granted a release from the WWE or his contract. When he is granted a release, Jack Swagger will remain under exclusive contract to WWE for 90 days following and will be compensated accordingly during that period. So he's still attached to the company.
So they're forcing him to stay there, basically. This is like a screw job for Jack Swagger right now.
It's a kidnapping. Hijacking at its finest. They're pirates. Yar.
He's being held against his will, Jack Swagger, right now.
He's got a big problem, man.
Yeah, he is going to be a big problem. He's going to be his own big problem.
Well, I think now he's going to start doing the press circuit, and he's really going to create a buzz against WWE, and then they're just going to give him his release. I think that's what
I would be bullshit if I was him. And plus, he's been with the company now, believe it or not, I think 10 years? Or 8 years?
Yeah, quite a while now.
I mean,
he was CW champion at one point, and I remember when he faced John Cena in a champion versus champion match on Raw, like damn near close to a decade ago. So yeah.
Yeah, that's almost unbelievable. You think about it.
Yeah, you figure because he was ECW champion, I believe, at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Because when I first met Leah, we saw him at that weird wrestling show that we went to. Yeah, so This is amazing, dude. This is pathetic for the WWE. I mean, why not just get rid of this guy? What are they worried about him like going to TNA or, we don't know.
Yeah, well, now we know that he can't even do anything for 90 days after getting released too, which is typical for WWE, but still, it sucks.
What do you think about this situation in TNA right now? Because TNA is it's getting kind of weird over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes, Joe. Right off the bat, Bruce Pritchard showed up to Impact and made his anticipated return to Impact Wrestling in their TV tapings this past Thursday, and he informed the crowd that TNA is dead. Now the name going forward will just be Impact Wrestling. Anthem, I guess.
Anthem Impact Wrestling or Impact Wrestling Anthem?
Impact Wrestling and then Anthem at the end. I've seen it both ways where it's just Impact Wrestling, and I've also seen it Impact Wrestling Anthem. So
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, either way, TNA is gone. They're getting rid of the rebranding.
That's like, you know what I mean, like the Boston Garden being torn down in the mid '90s, and they changed the name to the Fleet Center, and then they were like, then the TD Bank bought the rights to it instead of Fleet Center. Fleet Bank changed, and TD Bank took over, and they named it the TD Bank North Boston Garden. But at least that all flows together, the TD Bank North Boston Garden, but we just call it the Garden or the TD Garden or whatever. But Anthem's trying to get their name in the actual name of the product, so Impact Wrestling Anthem sounds odd, dumb as shit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like quite the hit.
Impact Wrestling,
from what I've seen,
by Anthem or Anthem's Impact Wrestling, like something like that would work better. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways, but so far, like I said, Bruce Pritchard cut a promo where he buried the former management and claimed it's time to make Impact great again. Then out came Bobby Lashley, and he introduced him as the face of the company, who was then interrupted by Alberto El Patron, or Del Rio. Then EC3 came to the ring to claim his right for a shot at the Impact Championship, as he feels he's been carrying the company. And then Pritchard, however, booked Alberto versus Ashley as the main event. So,
and we know the results of that. I think everybody does. But
yeah, the results have been leaked, and
I didn't write
a few
spoilers.
other matches as well.
I didn't write spoilers on this, so I'm not going to write spoilers of what's going to go on. I want to, but I'm not going to because I don't think it matters, though. The reason why people asked me the other day, they were like, "Oh, Joe, you were going to do this whole thing where you delete TNA and stuff," and I immediately held off because I started hearing about what was possibly going on, and you know that many times before, especially during the deletion stuff with Matt Hardy, when the Broken Brilliance stuff started, I had people being like, Joe, it's dead. This is finally dead, you idiot. Stop it. And it wasn't dead. It was revitalized, actually. It was like the opposite. It was wonderful what they did with TNA. And it seemed like, oh my God, all these times we thought it died, it's finally come back. It's risen up. But then that rise up has died.
And we've seen that happen multiple times where they have like this resurgence, the biggest of which has been with the Hardys with the broken gimmick. But yeah, they've had their claim to fame and fallen from grace several times now.
It's incredible to me that they're surviving this, to be honest. Like, they are... I just can't believe that this is happening. Like,
well, we don't know how it's going to go. I mean, the Impact tapings just concluded, and a lot of the talent isn't happy with how the new contracts are being handled. I guess rumor has it, and from what I've heard reported, I know Abyss did an interview and a few others talking about
the old school talent is going to be mad. The older the talent, the more they're going to be like, what the hell is this crap? But new talent, But anyway,
the issue is that they're only paying the talent for one taping instead of paying them for 3. Usually they do a batch of like 1 to 4 tapings at that point, typically 3. And I guess they're only getting paid for that one night's taping now.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that coincides with their whole, with what they're what they're looking to do, because it seems like they're going to be trying to hire a lot of younger, like, indie wrestling talent. What's with the guy from UFC or whatever that was in the main event last night? Like, they brought some guy in from the UFC out of nowhere, I felt like. I didn't even know he was going to be there.
Yeah, that was really random. Again, more spoilers, but yeah.
Well, that was last night. No, that happened.
Oh, last night
that
show.
aired.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now, Impact, they changed the logo. Here's the logo. Now, by the way, that's the best thing they've done so far. The best thing they've done. Well, I can see that Jeff Jarrett got his hands in this because he put the green wrestling, Impact Wrestling, and wrestling's in green like Global Force Wrestling would be. Whatever happened to Global Force Wrestling? Jeff, we don't know because Jeff won't get back to me. So I have no fucking idea. I guess it's dead or not, or I don't know. Maybe they're defaulting into like Jeff Jarrett's system, his global system that he has for hiring wrestlers right now, but they're going to put it on television. So essentially, you're getting Jeff Jarrett's package of Global Force Wrestling, but it's still Impact, so it's not Global Force Wrestling, but you're getting Jeff Jarrett's like production, basically. Everything he's learned and done with Global Force. I guess, maybe that's what it is. And then maybe their other idea is, because like Alberto Del Rio, do you think Alberto Del Rio is signed by like a... You know what I mean, on a night to week basis, or you think a guy like that is getting something more?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that he'd be getting a lot more, but apparently that's not what's happening.
No, I don't think they're going to say every night on the show, by the way. I'm looking at the logo. I feel like they're not going to say every night, like, Impact Wrestling Anthem. I feel like it's just Impact Wrestling, and then the anthem is going to be there. Thank God they got rid of that.
I've heard it mentioned both ways. That's why I wasn't sure.
Well, thank God they got rid of the owl. That looked like shit. That was so
that was
weird.
bad.
It's like we're watching wrestling and... Oh, shit, I started the show. We watching wrestling and all of a sudden fucking... Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Like, what the hell was that? But this looks way better. I love how the A drags down. It looks like Impact. It looks kind of cool. It almost looks like a kid's exciting show on Nickelodeon back in the day or something. But
but they're also changing people's names when they're coming in too, I've heard, for some of the the indie darlings that they want to bring up, similar to what WWE does. But I don't feel like they have enough publicity and buzz behind them to start new characters. So basically the fans are going to need a program when they go to a taping to know who's who, basically. That's kind of my thought process on this.
It sounds like to me they're really working obviously on making money the right way and being able to save the money, make the money, and thinking about making the money in the future. And that's part of what I think went into those contracts when they wanted, 10% of Matt Hardy's, the revenue from everybody, from 10% of whatever you make on the side. By the way, I don't know there's got to be more to it than that, because I almost feel like, if you're performing on television and you're spreading your brand throughout the world, allowing you to be booked places, that giving 10% of what you make on the indie circuit to Impact Wrestling, I think that sounds fair to me, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't mean really. Doesn't that sound fair to you? I mean, like they're on television. I would not have seen their gimmick and their situation had it not been for your show. So if they go over here and make $2,000, like, you know, Impact is kind of suffering. They kind of want 10% of that for loaning out the talent. 10%, not 20, not 30, not 40. Now to give you a retrospect, to give you a perspective on this, I'm on YouTube. Google AdSense takes more than half of my money that I make on
more
ads.
Than half. Then if it's mobile views, they take even more. You don't get any of that.
Right.
So.
The other day, I was looking at State of the WWE. Here's an idea, right? We sit down, we record 2 hours or an hour of State of the WWE. State of the WWE. When I do a State of the WWE, assuming at least a couple thousand people sit through the whole entire video, I could possibly make $30. However, if you look at the ad revenue of what it actually made, State of the WWE actually makes about $300-something. So
yeah, but then it's got to be cut into pieces and shipped out.
So YouTube is taking about $300 from me in the ad revenue. They're not splitting it. They're not giving me $200 or $150 for my one show of an hour. They're giving me $30 of a show that should make $300 to $500, and they take it all, almost all of it. And that's why I have a Patreon. That's why people support with donations. But that's sickening almost when you think about it. I'm the one creating the content. I mean, they're the ones giving me the platform, but, you know, I have generated views that otherwise wouldn't be there. But whatever. I get it. I can understand how someone cutting into your money is upsetting, because it's upsetting to me that that I can see that, wow, here's a big corporate entity that's killing it, and they take $300 from me and I get $30.
Yeah, and I understand their point, like, oh, you wouldn't be anyone without us, the platform. Well, you wouldn't be anyone without the creators, the people that make the content for your platform. Right. So, you know, that's why Twitch does that 50-50 revenue split entirely, and that's something I stand more behind. You know, they get $2.50 of every $5, you know, subscription, and I like that. But YouTube seems to be a bit more greedy.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, there you go. 50, like it's like symbiotic. You know, we're all here. So 50% would be way better. I mean, if
absolutely,
imagine if YouTube did 50%. You know, if I could make I'd probably, what would I make then? I'd make about $120 every State of the WWE. That
exactly.
Would be.
Well, also you'd have to include the YouTube Red figures too. You don't get as much of that either. So
yeah,
you're
YouTube
supposed
Red,
to be getting a dedicated amount from there too. But
YouTube Red's a joke. I lose tons of we YouTubers lose tons of money because of Red. But so for the Hardys and for everybody, you know, there's got to be more to it than just that. There really does, because I feel like 10% is fair, because no argument there. But I think the way they wanted to do it was they were taking, well, in relation to the Hardys, not other wrestlers, but the Hardys had their own store, their own merchandise. It wasn't being sold through TNA.com, and they weren't talking about the sales at the Impact events. They wanted 10% of the Hardys store, which is now closed, by the way. So I wonder why they had to close it in the first place. Like, if they weren't getting they weren't getting a cut of the Hardys store. It
makes me wonder if WWE is going to be the one that picks them up, because the WWE does not allow you to have your own merchandise store.
That's why it's like, it's got to be that, right? Because there's nothing else it could be. Unless it's New Japan.
That's the only thing I can think of, unless they're going into something else. But they've had this store for a long time. Rebby runs it, and
yeah,
you know, she's handled all of it for them. So what does it lead to next? You know, it's just baffling.
It has to be the WWE. I mean, because why would you close the store then? You would just leave the store open. You'd be like, well, you're not getting 10% of it, so we're going to leave it open, and now we're not with you anymore. Why exactly. The fuck would you close the store? I'd love to ask the Hardys this. I can't get a hold of a goddamn person, but whatever, we'll just continue to speculate.
Speaking of speculation, people are speculating that Jim Ross is going to be coming to TNA as a new announcer.
I saw that. So for
he
everybody,
tweeted out last night, "Good luck to all my friends working in Orlando for Impact Wrestling. Expecting many changes, including perhaps a different soundtrack with a question mark." So
right, yeah, that's pretty wild, dude. Though there goes everybody telling me to get over there. You got Jim Ross going there, so much for Joe Cronin going there.
I mean, we saw Josh Matthews get tooled, and
that was the best thing ever. I mean, obviously that was a big setup. He'd been like burning bridges on Twitter. Do you think Josh Matthews shows up? You think he's back, or do you think Jim Ross is going to take his seat?
I'd like to hope so. I mean, as far as the tapings that happened yesterday, I'm pretty positive that Matthews was still there. So at least we'll see him for the next few weeks.
I'm
not positive.
I like Josh, and I think he does a good job generically. I just don't think to me he reminds me of kind of like how Michael Cole is like Josh, but Josh Matthews, like, something about the way he speaks irritates me. But he's really good. He is really good. And all that stuff, but there's just no he just doesn't hit that believable excitement level that I look for. I don't connect with him when I listen. Mandrews, Crazy Steve. Like, I just don't.
He's more irritating than enjoyable.
I just Michael Cole is like, it's hard to criticize Michael Cole. First of all, Michael Cole is unbelievably talented. He's amazing. He's awesome. This dude does so much. He puts so much work into everything. Problem is, he's got the corporation in his ear. So you're never really sure, are you listening to Michael Cole, or are you listening to what Michael Cole is being told to say over and over again, and he's getting confused or flustered? No, Michael Cole does an amazing job of balancing what he hears in his ear and having to relay it. I just never enjoyed his voice. Never did. I used to be like, WrestleMania 15 was a nightmare for me to listen to. As a kid, I remember being 15 years old. WrestleMania 15's going on, and I was like, oh no. I think Jim Ross came back to call the main event, but it was like listening to Cole the entire thing drove me nuts. That's just my personal thing. I think he's really great though. Other than that stuff, he's just, what he does is amazing. It's I don't know if anybody else can do it over there. I mean, SmackDown's a mess, dude. Mauro Ranallo has a great voice, great call, but he's got no personality almost. He's like a character or whatever. You can draw a cartoon of him and be like, that's Mauro Ranallo. He's so, he's like a character, and he does have a great boisterous voice that we love, and he knows all the moves. He knows more moves than I'll ever know. But there's no next level. There's no banter. There's no interaction.
Yeah, it's just very dry, and it lacks any type of excitement for me.
I don't know. I really would love a chance to get on the mic at one of those wrestling companies or somewhere and do my thing for a little while and see how that sounds or comes off and see what kind of feedback it got. That would be really exciting. So people keep saying that stuff, and I'm on a lot of DVDs that are going around now that I did some recordings for some companies that I wasn't live at the show, but I did the voice over for. So those are coming out. So that you can look forward to that, I guess.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, lots of companies are getting rid of the announce teams. Even ROH. The other day they got Ian Riccaboni on the deal with Bob Evans, for God's sake. But these are all great guys. But just I don't know. So you could put JR there. Maybe JR would be a third man. Maybe they'd have a 3-man team. I'm okay with that. That would be all right. I mean, it wouldn't be the best thing. I think you should scrap the whole thing. Put JR there with a heel announcer. Put him there with a heel guy. That'd be great too.
That would be a good idea.
Oh my God, I would die if I could go heel next to Jim Ross. That'd be great.
Yeah, Anthem's Ed Nordholm, who everybody is kind of vilifying at this point. He revealed on Twitter that Rachel Ellering, who has been recently used as NXT enhancement talent, will be working this week's TNA tapings as well. Impact Wrestling tapings.
Wow.
Rachel's the daughter of Paul Ellering, so that was kind of noteworthy as well.
Absolutely. She's how old is she? Because I feel like she's older. I feel like she's like late 20s.
Not sure.
I don't know either. Look that up, because I swear to God she's like almost 30. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. But I swear to God he might have had more kids than I know. But I mean, not many people think about how many children Paul Ellering has. But yeah, dude. So Impact has gone berserk. It's kind of interesting. Alberto Del Rio is there, or is going to debut. Most people already know what goes on.
She's 24, Joe.
24, okay.
Yeah, 24 going on 25. She was born December 28th, 1992. So.
Wow. Thought she was my age, but
Yeah, I thought she was our age too.
I'm
I thought
8
she was
years
a bit
older than her though. Jesus.
She does have, I think, how many sisters? So it lists quite a
Okay,
few.
that's what it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Probably the youngest. Those youngins never figuring out what to do. By the way, tonight, guys, monetize this 101. We'll be live tonight, so we'll be having some fun. It'll be 101 coming off of 100. Should be a good party. Looking at
it's going to be exciting, especially after last week. Will we see the return of the Cake Man? You know,
bake your cake, Joe.
Drama ensues. Yeah, shout out to the Foul Mouth Network, guys. Another great episode this week. I was listening to that earlier. That was fantastic.
We've also got a message from Super Ugly Show that they wanted to send everybody, so I'm going to be playing that later tonight too.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, because the Foul Mouth guys were talking about Tommy NC 2010 being on the Super Ugly Show and all the fiasco that went down there. So
yeah, that was a weird, uncomfortable thing to watch. Well, I talked about why SmackDown and Raw are just so screwed up between each other. It's the most bizarre thing. How the difference is between the two, but now WWE Fastlane coming up. This is it. I almost don't even realize it's going on. Like, all I can think about is like how Orton burned down Bray Wyatt's house, and it's hard to. I'm kind of forgetting that Goldberg is going to wrestle Kevin Owens.
Exactly, we have this huge, essentially, by the numbers anyways, pay-per-view.
The ingredients here at Chipotle are the
what
finest
the fuck
in
is
all.
that?
I do not know. From Chipotle.
Some fucking ad just started playing.
I
Fuck
hate it
you,
when that
CBS.
happens. But yeah, this Sunday, I mean, Goldberg is going to try and capture the WWE title. That hasn't happened in how long now? So you figure, when was he back in the company? 2002?
Yeah, it's been a while.
You figure it's been a long time, and it's definitely a stacked card, but we don't care, and that proves itself. That's the issue right now. As you were just saying, the difference between the two brands right now is incredible. It's truly boggling to think how far Raw has fallen, just in the entertainment factor alone. So I'm enamored by what happened on the end of SmackDown, and then we get a huge announcement saying that AJ Styles is going to face Randy Orton this coming Tuesday night on SmackDown Live to see who faces Bray Wyatt at Mania.
Glad you brought that up because I just saw that
That's
a few minutes
huge.
ago and I forgot. Yeah,
That's
it's big
massive.
time. So how is Shane McMahon going to screw this up for AJ Styles so that Randy Orton is going to get the match, and then AJ will be mad at Shane McMahon?
Exactly. Well, AJ tweeted out right after this announcement saying earlier today, I guess I'll just win my spot again.
Yeah.
Hashtag phenomenal.
Because I'd be pissed.
So my
I'd be like,
thoughts would
dude,
be,
I won already. What the fuck is
yeah.
this? AJ should be pissed, dude. He should be like ripping shit pissed.
He should be. I mean,
Like,
he
I'm
cut
gonna
this
do this.
great promo on Talking Smack that was just absolutely, brutal. And he was digging into Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon especially, saying, you guys don't know what you're doing, basically, and I've had to win multiple times. You restarted the match for no reason, even though I clearly won. Then I won again. He's like, you don't have, commissioners in baseball restarting, games and things like that. So why would you do it in my match? And he definitely took the blame to Shane McMahon. So it's definitely brooding towards something between those two.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I actually missed Talking Smack. I wish I watched it because it's usually really good, but I just I didn't catch it. Okay, so Rich Swann. Let's just do the I'm gonna do predictions right now because fuck it. Rich Swann
Absolutely.
and Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's a kickoff show. I hope to God they give them time on the kickoff show at least to have a wrestling match, and if they do, I'm gonna go with Rich Swann and Tozawa winning on the kickoff.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm going with Rich Swann. So
Rich's cock. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I can't believe that you would want Nia Jax after all the build-up to lose a match. So as much as you're forcing Sasha to look bad, but maybe Sasha and Nia Jax will have a match and Nia will win, and maybe Sasha gets her win back at WrestleMania. That could happen too. Not that I want to see that, but
no, I know, but right now, there's been some huge changes, Joe. Actually, right this minute, with the Vegas betting odds too. So I don't know if you want me to bring that up before.
yeah, because every
predictions.
fucking time, like whatever Vegas picks is what happens. They were dead wrong. They were dead right last time.
Exactly. So I don't know if you want to know that before you give the rest of our predictions, but maybe we can comment on it afterwards. But an article was just put out now. It says, spoilers, big swings in WWE Fastlane betting odds. So, yeah, I don't really know where they could else go with this feud with Sasha and Nia, but I, for one, see Nia winning this.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put him in this situation, but the fact that but now we're here, got to book it. Nia has to beat Sasha, or Nia who's Nia ever going to beat then? Like, you just lost to Sasha. So, Nia Jax has to win.
Especially with her dominating Sasha over and over and over again the past, how many weeks? She destroyed her knee and went ahead and took her out repeatedly. So,
I mean, unless they treat this like Strowman and Roman, where it's, Roman, you would think would get the win over Strowman to get to The Undertaker, where Sasha would want to get the win over Nia to get to Charlotte or whoever the champion is at WrestleMania.
Exactly. Next match we have here is the Cruiserweight Championship, Neville versus Jack Gallagher. I think Neville's going to retain myself. I like Jack. He's definitely gotten over with the crowd with his umbrella gimmick and his British, mannerisms.
Yeah, it's funny.
I enjoy him. He's definitely... I think he's going to... At least I hope they don't book him too much as like a spectacle, where he's strictly the tea and crumpets umbrella guy. Because right now he's starting to remind me a little bit of an Adam Rose, where it's just going to be about the party gimmick, kind of how Jericho, it's just been about the list recently. It's over like crazy, but I don't want to see that become his only means.
I don't think it will, only because he's in the Cruiserweight division, so there's a lot of focus on this wrestling stuff and this thing called wrestling. And,
that's true. And 205 Live, they do focus more on the wrestling. But when you go back to
think
Raw,
about Adam Rose's matches. Just think about, do you remember? Try to think of a moment in a match that you remember from Adam Rose. I don't really remember too much. I already remember Jack Gallagher flying over the ropes with an umbrella. That may be
that's true.
That may be a joke thing, but there's things in the match, the headbutt that Jack Gallagher does. So the headbutt, there's lots of different little things that he does that I remember that. I honestly, I love Adam Rose. I don't remember what he did in the ring that was oh yeah, that thing. Can you remember anything? Because I can't.
Besides him wrestling the bunny, no.
So there you go. So I mean, Jack is entertaining with that comedy style and whatever else he's doing, that gimmick. But then in the ring, he's got something going on too, where he's people look for that headbutt, they look for this, they look for that. Where Adam Rose, it was just the party to get to the ring. But then once he got in the ring, well, the party's over, baby. Hey, yeah, baby. She only fucking hit me one time, Joe. I only hit her one time, Joe. We broke the phone. Oh, God, I shouldn't have said that. Hey. Dude, call him! I love Adam. I really love Adam.
Kruger.
Wait a minute, what did you just say? Oh, Luger. Oh, Kruger. Okay, Jesus Christ. That scared me, just like that gimmick scares me.
I know. He's
go to,
there.
What, did you pick someone? Yeah, Nia Jax. What do you think Nia Jax?
Neville and Jack Gallagher, I think Neville's going to win, so Neville will retain. That's my guess.
I would think so. I hope they don't jump on the bandwagon too quickly of Jack. Let him develop some more.
I don't know if you caught 205 Live, but Neville gave his address to the cruiserweights the other day, and it was fantastic. He did a really good job on the mic, and it was entertaining. So
yeah, Neville's been just doing a great job. This is great, dude. I mean, if you could do anything, I could totally have seen the WWE bringing in Rey Mysterio to face him at WrestleMania. None of you can do anything, which would have made everyone else look weak. So that would be, I would not do that. I could bring him in for I would bring him in for a SmackDown or I'm sorry, for a Raw. You know what I mean? Oh, who's going to face me now? And oh my God, Rey Mysterio's back for this night. I would only have him back for that night.
Well, Mysterio's rumored to be going to Impact now as well. So
you got Del Rio over there. You got Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, they're poaching Everybody from under
And
the
then
border.
you get CM Punk retweeting people.
Yeah, that was a bit of news earlier. He liked and favorited or retweeted Del Rio's post about how saying, he looks forward to his future and that wrestling's supposed to be fun, not, a drag.
And I've been ranting and raving for 2 years to, damn it, TNA, get CM Punk. Your company you will become WCW almost. I swear to God to you, if they got CM Punk, and it would really be about convincing Punk to help them out. That's what it would be. It would be like, you missed this, come back, you can stick it to WWE, you can be in front of the wrestling audience, you can do whatever you want, you have whatever, you want to go home all week, you want to take a 2 weeks off, whatever the fuck you want to do, CM Punk, you can do it, we're at your mercy, we're giving you the WCW deal, you know what I mean? That would be, why not? Why the hell not? And you could, I don't know what you would do, but fuck, and I could use his music too. Couldn't they buy that song? Because
I'm sure they could. I'm absolutely sure they can get the rights to it. It'd be expensive,
God.
but UFC did it, so.
Well, UFC has they're a lot.
Well, they have a
more
lot of money. I know, but I'm saying it's not like it's a nigh impossible for another company to obtain it. I'm saying from WWE.
Well, no, I don't think WWE owns the rights to it.
No, I think they had at one point just the ability to lease it.
They did, yeah. Well, exactly. I believe they used it almost like how they had to use the old WWF logo when they finally got attacked by World Wildlife Foundation. Every time they appeared the logo, they got a fine for it or whatever. So I would think that every time they use that music, whatever company owns the rights to that song, you would ask for money or some kind of money. So and they would have to pay.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
If they could get CM Punk with that song, with Rey Mysterio, Del Rio. And
he doesn't even have to wrestle, like you said. Just to him to come out there and talk. Tell them, give him 10 minutes, cut on WWE, do whatever you want. Everybody's eyes would be on that. That's it.
And if they
look at the pay-per-view buy rate. Everybody knew he was going to lose at the UFC fight, and they had one of the biggest draws in ages in UFC when CM Punk fought.
Do you think that Anthem has the right to take over people's shops on Pro Wrestling Tees because they open the stores up, maybe, or?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why they closed
it. Perhaps. One thing I wanted to say too. I know we're all over the place. We're doing Fastlane predictions
I know.
now.
You're right. I've taken us somewhere else. But it's too bad
really
Jeff Hardy
quick,
isn't
I forgot
there.
to mention before.
Yeah.
If any talent in TNA or Impact, I should say, it's going to take me a while to get used to that, works at a venue, kind of like the Hardys did Top Rope, TNA now receives 10% of those earnings, and it also changes how royalties are paid.
Wow.
So, and they can't go and wrestle for a local or independent promotion without approval from management.
Okay.
So, like Anthem, if they go ahead and you work for Anthem, you want to go wrestle at Top Rope. Well, if they say no, you can't do it, even if it doesn't coincide with any of their tapings or recording dates. And if you do wrestle at that promotion, they get 10% of it just because you're there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
now
I read that on Wrestling Inc., and that's one of the things that people have a problem with too. It's not just 10% of the normal royalties; it's the fact that their outside booking is being affected too.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why they're doing that. That hurts more a person who's only wrestling a little bit with them. It would hurt them a lot more. Somebody like the Hardys, it wouldn't hurt as much, but they're the ones most angry about it.
Exactly.
But maybe
I also think the Hardys were fighting for other talent, not just themselves.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is well, that could just be them making sure that, hey, if we let them roll over us, everyone else gets really screwed. So fuck this.
Exactly.
So,
all right, let's get ourselves back on track.
Wait,
the Raw Tag Team Championship.
I got one more thing I want to ask you. Do you think the Hardys? Because I think it's maybe possible the Hardys do come back and sign to TNA. Think about that. No one's thought about that really.
No, I haven't even considered that, to be honest with you.
Me
I
neither.
just felt like that was a done deal, especially with Mrs. Hardy, Rebby going off the off the wall on every open platform she could find.
It doesn't seem like they would, but I mean, the only thing that would be a shame is if CM Punk did go to TNA, it would be a shame that Jeff wouldn't be there, but because that would be a rivalry that's like right away. That's what you think of. But anyway, yeah, let's move back on to WWE, but that was fun.
Yeah, that's definitely something to think of, though, for sure.
Tag team Enzo and Cass.
Yep, versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Do you think? I think this is gonna be a rivalry that continues to WrestleMania. So I think that Enzo and Cass are not going to win, but they'll get a
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I don't think they'll win at Fastlane. I think they'll win the belts at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Seeing as how they mentioned it Monday that they've never achieved the dream of winning a tag team belt as long as they've been together. I think it's going to be a big deal, and they'll make it a big moment at WrestleMania. I think that Gallows and Anderson are going to find a way to cheat and retain the titles on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, there you go. That's what we think. I could see them surprising us though and giving it to them tonight, but I don't think so. I think it will be Mania. What else is there? Bayley and Charlotte.
Yep, we have the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley, the champion, versus Charlotte Flair.
Again, I guess you could have Bayley win, and then she'll go on, and then Sasha would beat Nia Jax, and then go on to face Bayley, and you would have Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania for that title. Maybe turn Sasha heel. Maybe Charlotte's mad at. I don't know, but what do you do with Charlotte? Then I just can't see. The reason why I don't believe that's going to happen is because I cannot see the WWE not having Charlotte in the main event of the women's match at WrestleMania.
I can't either. I also don't think that they want her undefeated streak to be broken as far as pay-per-views goes for single matches. She's racked up almost 20 wins now, so I think that they're going to have her recapture the title and go over Bayley on Sunday. So my pick is Charlotte to win.
Okay, well, there you go. Charlotte to win. I'm going to pick Charlotte to win as well. I like what I was coming up with.
I do like what you were coming up with better than anything I had said, but with the way I've been booking, I'm thinking more logical. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a straight steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, like if I was booking and I would do it that way maybe, but the WWE is, dude, they're all over Charlotte. All the stuff they've done for Charlotte. If they actually did that move, it would also make me mad because I'd be like, well, what was this fucking push for Charlotte all year then? So anyway, yeah, so there that goes. We both picked Charlotte.
I mean, it doesn't really make much sense, for her not to win. I mean, I don't know. Bayley shouldn't have had the title yet anyways, but she shouldn't have captured it till Mania. It doesn't make sense for her to have the title and for Charlotte to lose it at Raw a few weeks back. So,
well, the Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn, I would believe that Samoa Joe would win here because the new guy coming in.
Gotta happen. Joe's gonna kill you. It has to happen. They booked him to be so dominant and just a true monster so far, and he's looked just sinister very often, very cold, calculating. He kind of reminds me of a semi, after DX version of Triple H in that sense, where when Triple H came back from that leg injury, he was all business. That's the kind of feel I get from Samoa Joe at this point. So. I don't picture Samoa Joe not going over Sami Zayn here.
Well, they then we got the Roman versus Strowman. I'm gonna just right away. It's got to be Roman that wins because if Roman's got to face the Undertaker at WrestleMania, he has to have a big win over someone like Strowman. Kind of puke-inducing, but that's probably what they're doing here. So.
I actually disagree with you here. And before I had read anything or any, ideas beforehand, I had the thought.
Wait a second. Are you wait a minute. Maybe I'm cutting you off and you were going to say this. But what about the Undertaker showing up tonight?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
All right, cool. It just clicked into my head that he could show up and tombstone him and then Braun could get the win.
That's my thought. It keeps Roman from looking weak. Braun doesn't lose. And it sets up the match for Mania.
That would be great. They would have to do that because, you're right. It keeps Roman from looking really weak. It keeps Strowman from losing.
It protects everybody involved, and it sets up a match at Mania. So
and
that's
you might
triple win.
You may be giving Big Show a shot at Strowman. If Shaq doesn't happen, it might be because think about that match, dude. That match that the Big Show had with Strowman. That had to put smiles on guys' faces in the back. They had an unbelievably great match on a Monday Night Raw. It was so good for those two guys. I mean, it was had some issues, but I mean, it was so good for what they gave us that I feel like that match alone on a Raw, the fact that you put those two big guys out there and trusted them not to bore people, not to make people go, what the fuck? Because we were all like, Strowman and Big Show, fuck our lives. And then they went out there and they had a good match, and it was like, that must have been like a C in your face, like we can do it with the big guys again, you know? The Big Show's hard work, all his working out. Strowman won that match, right? So yeah, so it's almost like the Big Show's trying to come back, like, and there's Strowman beating Roman Reigns, you know, and he hasn't, and Big Show can't beat Strowman, and now it's WrestleMania, and this is going to be probably Big Show's last match. Even if Big Show loses,
yeah, it'd still be
a big fight feel
moment for sure, a WrestleMania moment.
It's a big fight feel, dude, and that's awesome. Yeah, so dude, I'm 100% down with what you were thinking and what I was just popped into my head.
Yeah, we were kind of disagreeing at first, but we came into the same page. So great minds think alike.
Yeah, it's just I think a lot of people are gonna think that though. You know, the Undertaker.
Well, that's the problem with this entire pay-per-view. It's all kind of we haven't disagreed on one thing. At least at Elimination Chamber, we had different outcomes, different scenarios, and you and I both picked different, winners and whatnot. Tonight, we're just agreeing on everything because it's so spelled out. It's so straightforward. There's nothing that's to be surprising.
Here's some more spelled out straightforward. First of all, the fact that Goldberg absolutely destroyed Brock Lesnar makes you gotta believe that he would destroy Kevin Owens. So that theory is kind of weird and is going to interfere with this, but let's say Kevin Owens, I know that Bret Hart put a plate underneath his chest when Goldberg speared him on WCW.
Yeah.
I know they did that in WCW and Goldberg speared him and Goldberg was out cold or whatever.
They did it in WWE where Triple H had the sledgehammer too.
They got to do that. I mean, that's the only way to get this match to be any longer. And the reason why I'd like it is because Goldberg goes to spear Kevin Owens, and he all of a sudden he's almost knocked out. It looks like Goldberg's fucked up. And then, Kevin Owens rolls out of the ring, slides off whatever thing he had underneath him, the vest or whatever. And the camera picks it up, but maybe the referee doesn't see it. Something like that. And then basically what I would have you do is Kevin Owens goes to cover him, and Goldberg kicks out. And then they sort of start having a little bit of a match. And then I got to believe at some point that after being attacked multiple times, Chris Jericho shows up. And Chris Jericho is going to do something to Kevin Owens, whether the referee gets knocked down, whatever. Crowd's going to pop when Jericho shows up from out of the crowd or wherever he comes from. He takes out Owens. Goldberg turns around. Goldberg spears him. Fucking Goldberg jackknife, whatever you want to do. And Goldberg wins the title. Kevin Owens is furious. The crowd's popping for Goldberg. They're popping the Jerichos there. And now you got Kevin Owens versus Jericho for the United States Championship. You took my title away from me at WrestleMania. I'm going to take your title from you. Like, there you go. You get the whole fucking deal. I mean, rematch. Or, here's the other thing. Goldberg just straight up beats him. And he gets his rematch because he's going to get a rematch probably, you would think. So then he gets
probably. He
gets his rematch on a Raw. Goldberg, and that is the rematch is where Chris Jericho could interfere. He interferes in the rematch on a Raw. That allows you to let Goldberg destroy Kevin Owens clean. And then on Raw, he gets a rematch, but that's when Jericho shows up and attacks Kevin Owens, and that sets up their match at WrestleMania. So either one of those is probably what's going to happen. But if that's not what happens and Kevin wins, oh my God, like, whoa. But
it would be huge if Kevin won. I mean, right now, there's, we both agree that Goldberg's going to win, right? Is that who you're picking?
Yeah, it seems way too predictable, but yeah.
Yeah, because right now the betting odds is -900 for Goldberg being the favorite and +500 for Owens. So a quick explanation of those odds. If you bet $900 on Goldberg, and he wins, you only win $100. But if you bet $100 on Kevin Owens and he wins, you would get $500 due to Kevin being such an underdog. So the odds are constantly changing. But right now, Vegas has Goldberg, over Owens by a great margin.
Right. That is wild.
But I agree. I mean, they got to find a way to make the match longer than 1 minute and 26 seconds. How they go about doing that, I'm not quite sure. Like you said, could it be something with, a hidden weapon or some type of protector for his chest? I don't even think they go that far. I'd like them to, but I strictly think it's just going to be a Jericho interference to go ahead and build more towards their match at Mania, and then Goldberg and Brock will be for the title. Yawn. Yeah.
I think the crowd's going to go nuts, though, when Jericho shows up and interferes, and then when Goldberg spears him or whatever, and then, it's going to be, I think that will be pretty cool. I really, as much as it's predictable, I still want to, I hope that happens because I think that will be exciting.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It's pretty predictable.
Yeah, a few other big changes right now is Braun versus Strowman were originally in a dead heat even for odds, but now Strowman has emerged as a heavy favorite at negative 2,000 odds.
I agree.
So that's huge. Reigns at one point was straightly favored before the lines became so volatile and both men were listed as underdogs. Sasha Banks is no longer the favorite to defeat Nia. Nia Jax is now heavily favored. Charlotte was at negative 1750, but now she's been downgraded to negative 900, but she's still favored to win. So right now, Vegas odds are Goldberg over Owens, Flair over Bayley, Gallows and Anderson retaining over Enzo and Big Cass, Neville retaining over Gallagher, Braun over Roman Reigns, and The Undertaker has negative 200 odds to show up at ringside.
Wow, that's
Samoa Joe over Zayn, Nia over Banks, and Rich Swann and Akira over Kendrick and Noam Dar.
Wow. I mean, I think it's, like you said, it's pretty predictable, but I think you're right. I mean, I really do think The Undertaker's got to show up tonight.
I think he has to. That's a clear point, because there's only, 4 more shows until Mania at this point? So
right. Now, guys, if you want to be part of these polls that I do on patreon.com, there's polls here and things that we do. I talk to you, I message you. And there's 41 patrons right now supporting the show, guys. If you want to be a supporter of the patron, go to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, and you can decide to support with become a patron. And you can choose your rewards, whatever you want to do, however much you want to spend and support monthly. $3 is what we suggest, but there are many people doing 20, many people doing 40, but do whatever you can that won't get you to quit it. Don't do $30 because then next month you got to change it down to $2. Just do whatever you can do. I can afford $2 a month, Joe. Well, that sounds good. Do that. Also want to let you guys know that, again, the WWE Book of Rules is now out. Check this freaking thing out. It is kind of cool. And it's got a bunch of funny stuff in here. There's a lot of little jokes and stuff inside the book. And rules that went awry, rules that went bad, and other different rules. That literally rules, and then there's literally just like goofy rules, like don't poop in the bathroom near Big Show. Like, I don't know what that means, but then there's actual rules in here. So check it out. It is available on joecroninshow.net. You click on the link, takes you there to order the book, and I'll get credit for it, and then I'll get credit for anything you buy on WWE.com from that link. Link will also be in the description box down below this video. What do you guys think of all our predictions and everything we talked about? TNA, is TNA dead? Is it emerging? Is this going to blow up? Is TNA going to become even bigger than it was? Even, the Hardys can only take them so far, and they did a great job, and now they passed the torch over to a new ideology that could be taking over Bruce Pritchard and everybody else. Zeb Coulter, I forget his real name. Maybe that is his real name. He's been in wrestling for 30, 40 years, actually.
Yeah, long time.
This guy, great mind, head of the team now, man. I don't know. Jim Ross could be heading there. Del Rio's already there. Rey Mysterio, rumored. CM Punk tweeting all of them. What is going on? WWE Fastlane. We'll see you Sunday night after Fastlane for the review. I'll see you tonight, Friday night, for Monetize This 101. Thanks to Jake DeMarco. Hit him up on Twitter at CountdownEnded with questions. And me at Joe Cronin JCS. And we'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you guys tonight for Monetize This. Oh, one more thing. Also, if you guys want to listen to Beer Goons, the episode 2 of Beer Goons is going to be coming out soon. Me and JD just got to record it again. JD was really busy, and then the one day he had to do it, I was busy, so we haven't been able to hook up. But it is available on the TuneIn app. If you download the TuneIn app, you can listen to Beer Goons over there. If you have an Alexa, you can just say, hey, Alexa, play Beer Goons podcast, and she'll play it. Tons of different things now available and with possibilities because of the TuneIn app. So go to iTunes, leave us a review, leave us a rating, give us a download. Thanks again for listening. My name is Joe Cronin. We'll see you in the next video.
listening to The Joe Cronin Show.
Hey, the best way to support The Joe Cronin Show, besides donating, I guess, will be to watch and binge watch these other episodes that you might have missed of The Joe Cronin Show. Click on one of these videos on your cell phone, your mobile device, or wherever you're watching. Click on one of these videos now. Go watch or binge watch a playlist by The Joe Cronin Show.